happy September. This might actually be the third one you see in September, but I think it's the first one I'm taping in September. I know before I talked about a little bit about the frustrations and the positivities to come with being blind, and the oddity of what well, I might not, but there is a extraordinary oddity of feeling like inside my house anyways, that I'm walking through a white fog. So I can just make out certain shapes, and I know the bottom of the house. Eventually I'll get back upstairs and hopefully remember what the upstairs is like as well. But the familiar enough with the bottom of the house to make my way around. Although I do have several bruises from hip checking the island and running into the coffee table. And ironically, as efficient as the Commission for the Blind has been, some of it was our fault because we were trying to get some second opinions to see if there was anything that we could get back, any of my vision that we could get back those first 6 weeks. But she called yesterday to see how my appointments went. She actually has to approve everything. My counselor has to approve everything that I get from the commission, you know, be it the talking through thermometer or any of the things that they bring me to help so that I can function more in the household than I'm functioning now. I had mentioned that we had bought a walking stick and she seemed very surprised. And I was kind of thinking to myself, like, wouldn't every person that suddenly lost their vision, wouldn't that be their first instinct is to buy a stick to help them navigate around the house without like falling into things or over things or just getting completely lost, which is another thing that does happen to me. I think I'm in a place in the house and it's amazing. I think that everybody should, not everybody obviously, because it doesn't affect everybody, but if you know somebody that's blind, I really feel like sometimes you should, I have a friend who's done a couple of these things just to see what it feels like to be me, but you know, blindfold yourself and walk into the bathroom and find out how quickly you get disorientated, because I can walk into the bathroom and shut the door and put hang my cane up on the door, and then when I think I'm doing just a 180 turn to find the sink or taking a side step backing up to find the toilet, I'm completely in a different spot in the bathroom than I thought I was. And it's craziness because or if we're walking outside, what I feel like is a side step is actually more of a hip turn or an actual turn as opposed to just a side step. So your muscle memory of how to do certain things or where certain things are doesn't necessarily take over or isn't an exception to the fact that you really just get disorientated with the navigational part of where you are in the house. So even though I know that it should be 6 steps from the refrigerator to the couch, I sometimes end up at the wrong couch. So I know I'm at a couch, but it doesn't feel quite right. So then I have to feel with a stick my way to the other part of the couch, which is where I usually sit, because I have a little end table that has all my things on it, like my water and my phone. And so it's just this completely different sensation that I'm not suggesting that everybody needs to go through by any way, shape, or form, but it's been a very unique experience and a frustrating one, especially when I think about the things that I have lost. I try not to concentrate on those, but I'm sure I'll have an episode on everything that I am unable to do in the future, unable to see in the future. But for right now, we're just trying to keep going forward and taking it day by day, working on all the steps to get done that will lead us to eventually getting a seeing eye dog, which sounds like it might be up to a year, but at least if we get everything done, then life can kind of seem like it'll settle back down and there isn't all this paperwork that we're constantly filling out or phone calls that I'm trying to constantly make, or my kids are helping me make, trying to add everybody in as a contact so that I can tell Siri to call that person. And when I'm getting very good at some of there's like a speak over thing on my phone that lets me listen to my emails, and I know how to press the button to send them now. So I'm getting a little bit more savvy with my phone, but it is extraordinarily difficult for your mind to absorb all these things at the same time. Our next step is to try to get me outside a little bit and see how I do outside, because it's the first thing the mobility specialist is going to show me when he arrives, is I have to be able to show that I can walk any route that I would want to take the dog on. So we have some walking to do for sure, and some getting used to the driveways and the difference between the grass and the driveway, or the grass and the road itself. Walking into town is going to be a unique situation because we live on a very busy road and there's no sidewalk on the one side at the end of the road. So different scenarios there. But it's been a unique ride. And I kind of feel like we're getting to the end of the paperwork trail and the beginning of the positive things that are going to come from the commission and from all the work that we've done up until this point, which doesn't make it any less frustrating, but something to look forward to, I guess, and that's what we should try to continue to concentrate on. My children go back to school on Tuesday, and so does my husband. Well, he has been back at work, but Tuesday will be my first day by myself. So we're going to see how that goes. I think that there's a small part of me that wants to prove to all of us that I can survive the day by myself. But I have a couple people on backup just in case I need a visitor or a cup of coffee or just hear another voice. But so just remember that there's always something to look forward to if you can. That's what I'm trying to take away from these last few weeks and all the work that we've put in and phone calls we've made, paperwork that my husband has had to fill out, and just keep plugging along. If anybody has any questions or wants some suggestions on how I maybe have dealt with different parts of walking around in a fog, feel free to ask, and I'll try to do my best to answer. Thanks for listening if you are, or watching if you are, and I'll be back next week.